Let me tell you next why I believe I have the best chance to beat Akin. There's 5 elements to it. I've already told you that I have the name recognition from my years on the school board, from my being feisty, a little bit like free cable sometimes, and the other vigorous races that I've won. Now, I've been on the radio already. It wasn't a lot. KMOX, KTRS, a couple $1,000s early in the election to make sure that people didn't take this race for granted. And in each of my 3 different commercials, I talked about my spirituality and relationship with God in one form or another. The commercials are available if you want to listen to them on my website. There's a couple different ways you can get to it. The easiest one is runbillrun.com. Then people don't have to spell my last name. It's also both Bill Haas and Bill Haas for Congress. To win this race, the nominee, the Democratic nominee, is going to have to appeal to moderates and independents and moderate Republicans. Akin won by 25% last time, about 40,000 votes, I believe. He's beatable, but you're going to have to peel off the moderates who are tired of Bush politics. He's the one in Congress who voted with the Bush agenda 5th most of any congressperson. And people are tired of Bush politics, and that includes moderates and independents. And this is the year for Democrats, and I'm going to be their choice because I'm moderate. The conventional wisdom is that Democrats talk too much about issues. We need to talk about values and tie them to issues. That's why Republicans have been more successful more recently. Well, I talk about values a lot, and my spirituality, which I'm comfortable with, and my relationship with God is part of that. I'm pretty sure, but not 100% sure, that I'm the only candidate in Missouri at the moment who talks about God on their literature. I'm certainly the only Democrat in the primary who does. I'm real confident of. If I'm wrong, somebody will correct me and I'll apologize. And I do it in 2 ways, and you have the literature so you can see it for yourself. It's on the website too. I say that I've long thought that I have gifts for public service. And if I do, they're God's gifts. And they're mine to squander if I don't use them well. And if I do well, it's God's work. I'm here to do good. It's always should be considered God's work. And I'm comfortable with that. And I think it will be appealing in the general election. It has the added advantage of, as Henry Kissinger used to say, of being true. So we know that I'm feisty and I run a heck of a campaign. I had signs near most of the voting places on presidential primary day in February, and I've been feisty ever since. It's not a real big campaign organization yet, and I haven't raised a lot of money yet, but I think I'm going to win the primary, but it's going to be close, so that's okay. But you're going to need to be feisty, not just your usual Democrat. Not that that would be a bad thing, as my literature says. Not the usual Democrat, but God and spirituality is part of that. I'm not afraid to think for myself, although I'm going to be a good party loyalist, except on matters of conscience or important judgment. But I intend to work with the party, even though they have not yet been there for me. I mentioned that because I'm a moderate in some ways. I'm proud of my liberal credentials, but if you look at my literature, and I'll talk about it in just a minute, I'm a moderate on some issues, and that will be appealing in the general election. And I think I will be the best one to raise funds in the general election. I haven't as much as some of the others in the primary, but we all know that the general election is a different animal than the primary. And others have got some institutional support in the primary, and that's good. They deserve it. I deserve your support too, so I'm here today asking for it.